Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you once again to the TalkingTelly podcast. And this week we are discussing the most meh, disappointing film in recent MCU history. And that is Antman Quantumania. Folks, we went to go see this movie on Monday. I know it's a while since we posted an MCU pod. What's it now? 3 weeks? 3 weeks since an MCU pod. And I had hopes for this movie. Genuinely, I had hopes going into this movie. I've never been disappointed by an Ant-Man movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp was good. The first Ant-Man was great. I was looking forward to how they round off the character, how they give him a little send-off, and how they open up Phase 5. And I have to say, it was just... ugh. Best way to describe it, just ugh. Watching the movie, I left the cinema theater and it was almost like a fever dream. I left, walked out, and I feel like I forgot half the film. It was just that boring. There was no stakes. There was no high action, high octane. It was just... ugh.
Yeah. So I'll just bring everyone up to speed real quick about Antman 3. Antman 3 revolves around the Antman family, as it is now. Cassie Lang, Scott Lang, Hope Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Hank Pym. And they all go on a wacky adventure to the quantum realm where they get sucked in by a random machine that Cassie's been working on. By the way, something I do want to note before we get in, some of the very good characters that are in previous Ant-Man movies weren't here. Like his buddies, his jail guys. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, they had no jail guys, number one. But bear in mind, I can understand not bringing them in.
His family, the other family, like Cassie Lang's mom.
Yeah, literally no involvement. She was a big, heavy involvement in the first one. No involvement in this one. Which was, look, I can understand as well. I can kind of understand why they'd bring her in. They don't want to bring in too many people. But that's also another flaw of this movie.
Yeah.
They bring in so many insignificant characters.
When they go into the quantum realm, Kang is the main villain. If you don't know Kang, actually, I don't want to say that. Can you talk about the show?
We can talk about Loki.
Okay, so he is revealed to be the main bad guy of Loki in an interesting twist. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but Kang could be a good character. And in this movie, Kang was portrayed pretty well. I don't want to say perfectly because not every single scene was brilliant. But Jonathan Majors did very well as Kang the Conqueror, especially a pretty goofy character in general. But in the Quantumania, they have to stop Kang because he's going to break out, and they meet a lot of characters in the Quantumania. The Quantumania looks great, by the way, for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, the quantum realm. I feel like if we're gonna go over all the good stuff from this movie,
you might as well
the atmosphere itself, as in their surroundings, the environment, the different how would you say creatures or whatever.
Yeah, the creatures.
It's all very visually pleasing. Some of the characters even they had that character who was able to charge up the bolts or whatever.
Cool,
I thought that looked cool. I thought the CGI looked great in it. I thought the fight between them and the big monster looked cool as well. I was like, this is all nice. It looks visually pleasing. And Kang as well. I wanna touch on that. I thought Kang was good. Kang was
good.
No complaints here.
But there was I think Kang was good, but the acting was great. But Kang as a character in the movie, I'm not a big fan of.
I thought he wasn't. He's going to be the big bad in the future of the MCU.
It's a bit silly if you build up a whole show in a movie for Kang, just for Ant-Man and his family to dunk on him in his home turf. In his home turf, where Kang should be the strongest, because he's literally had an empire.
He's wearing the suit. He's wearing the. If they gave him drawbacks,
if
they said he's not wearing the suit, then you could get excited. It would be like Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, It's of course he's still going to be fucking strong. Like, Antman and his fucking family couldn't walk Thanos without the gauntlet. They just couldn't.
You couldn't walk.
Bear in mind, Thanos was literally a warmonger, you know, taking over worlds, shit like that. Kang's on a whole different level. He's taking over universes, and you're telling me this is like normal? Like, it's normal just to wipe him with full power?
Kang touches on this in the movie. He says how he's killed countless Avengers. He doesn't even remember who Antman is because he's killed all of them. He's killed Thor, he's killed these guys, he's killed them. How is he any different? How is this Antman any different? What does he have?
It's not like he's Ant-Man Prime. He's not Ant-Man Prime. Like, it's not like fellas coming out with the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, it's nothing like that. He's just in the fucking quantum realm.
Oh, so before we go too far ahead, I want to talk about Act 1. Act 1, I hated because it was the actor involved. What is her name? I need to check her name. I can't call Michelle Pfeiffer to this whole thing. Janet Van Dyne. Janet Van Dyne is going mental for the first act, saying how they're in the quantum realm, and they're like, what's going on? And Janet Van Dyne's like, no, we can't be here.
No,
we gotta get out. We gotta go right now. And they're like, oh, why do we have to get out? What's wrong?
Before then, she was goofy even before then. So they have the whole sit down around the dinner table situation where it's like, oh, you were in jail. Oh, you're such a bad guy, you know. Literally forgetting that Ant-Man was a fucking thief. Like, literally.
Well, no. The point is that he's.
I can't believe you're doing this. I'm doing it for a good cause, Dad. You're involved with this too. Like, literally the fucking Hank Pym and his wife they're laughing about it. It's like, all right, fair enough. Then it's like, Mom, will you ever tell me what happened in the quantum realm? No.
No, she was like, don't ever talk about the quantum realm ever again.
Don't ever fucking look at me again.
Get out of here.
And you're there thinking, yeah, of course they're setting up for the quantum realm. Yeah. It's literally called Quantumania. But you're thinking to yourself, even in the opening scenes, I was like, why is the man all talking about? Why is it such a secret? Of course they wanted to think why it's such a secret, but like, it's just a stupid secret to keep.
Yeah, when we know that it's like, the movie starts off the first scene with Kang like saving, with Janet and Kang like saving each other in the quantum realm. And you're like, ooh, what's the relationship? And the relationship is interesting. However, the build-up or the tension to that relationship is executed awfully. And it was the fact that she'd be like they'd be hunted in the quantum realm, and she'd be like, oh, like we can't do this, we gotta hide. And she has all these different ways and these methods to traverse the quantum realm. And they're like, how do you know this? And she's like, I can't tell you. I'll tell you later. This is for your own safety. I'm protecting you guys. I actually hate. That might be one of my least favorite tropes. I'm protecting you, so I can't tell you this information. That would only make sense if Kang was a goddamn telepath, which he isn't. I understand if they were like, oh, he can torture you if I tell you what, like, I know. Alright, fair enough. But no. She couldn't tell him, hey, there's this guy, this little mass murderer, this conqueror, literally, for lack of a better word. But no, she didn't even tell him, like, oh, we have to get out of here right now because Kang's here. She's just like, we have to leave for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah, and the fact she never even fucking told him, hey, there's a big fucking bad guy here, you know, he's after taking over the entire shop. She said nothing about that.
Yeah.
She didn't even say, bear in mind, if she had just said at the start, and by the way, we haven't even gotten into how they got sucked into the quantum realm. Sure, it looked nice, but it was so fucking goofy as well. She was like, you're sending messages to the quantum realm? How else are they going to get these fucking messages if not from fucking Kang and his futuristic technology down there? That's the stupid part. Why did she not say, there's a bad guy down there, he's trapped down there, we cannot let him out, do not relay messages down there, don't ever do it again. And then you would have no bullshit fucking reason for, oh my god, they go, ooh, sucked in, oh, they're in the quantum realm. Oh god, I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into the whole physics or the whole biology behind how they're able to shrink without suits perfectly fine if they
that makes no sense.
It literally makes no sense.
The whole point is that they can only shrink using these suits, but they just shrink without the suits just cause. That is.
Oh yeah.
That's
what we were talking about.
We need to talk.
How can he shrink without the helmets?
That's
literally what happened to MODOK.
I will. Oh, don't say it now. I want to talk about him later.
Oh, yeah. Well, look.
Well, you heard nothing. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
So, I think it's very important to talk about that this movie consistently breaks its own logic. They would establish a hard rule. They say, you can't do this. You can only shrink if you do this. And then they break it instantly. Kang is unstoppable once he has the suit. The backstory with Jennifer Knight was great, and you can see how she bonds with Kang. And Kang, once he puts on the suit, he's unstoppable. But also, and by the way, so he has the suit, and they're like, oh, he has powers. Undisclosed powers, so he can do anything, because the writers are too lazy to explain. And then, oh, he can freeze people in time. He can't. But then, he can't stop Janet Van Dyne from blowing up his power source with her bare hands. Him in his full-on power suit. He's a god amongst men. He can destroy Thor Hulk. But in a fist fight, he kind of beats Antman, but also gets dunked in at the end by with two little fist guns. The movie constantly breaks its own logic, and that's what I really hate. But I think we should move on to probably Act 2 now, because Act 2 was weird. Act 2 was good for the second half. The first half of Act 2 involved them meeting the locals in the quantum realm. So they involved meeting, what was it? Who was that name? Bill Murray. Yeah, he met Bill Murray, and he was okay. And then that's some of them met them, but then Scott Lang met these savages, and they turned out to be just normal people who were fighting the resistance. And it was so, such generic resistance people.
Yeah, quite late. It felt like something, honestly, that whole Act 2 felt like something ripped out of Star Wars. I felt like you could literally copy and paste that into a shitty Star Wars, Wish fucking movie. If just a fake Star Wars, and you'd be like, this was fake Star Wars. Honestly, yeah. I felt like something you'd pull out of fucking, Solo. You'd see that exact act, an entire half an hour to 45 minute period in fucking a Star Wars story or some bullshit. They're making a Lando movie. You could definitely see that. You could definitely see that entire fucking act. Just swap out characters. And I hated that. I hated the fact that it looked so Star Warsy. They're trying to make it its own thing, and yet it looks so, I don't know.
And we talk Antman is in general 1 and 2 a silly movie, which is fine, but they knew when to make serious. When Ghost was struggling with her powers and she was dying, and with Janet coming back, it was serious. They weren't laughing around. But here, it's just everyone is silly. It's definitely less serious than some movies. I don't want to say it's all the time, because it's not. But
we'll save this conversation till the end. This is definitely because the whole movie is. Movie's goofy.
I just wanted to touch on the side characters. The whole guy, who just his whole thing is, he is fascinated by other people having holes, because he's like an organism that has no holes. It's such a childish to have that in your movie in Phase 5, and we're seeing characters like this. That's bad. It's very bad to have that some guy who likes holes. Jesus. But what I do want to touch on in Act 2 at the very end was Kang's backstory. Kang's backstory is great. Kang and Janet Van Dyne, how they worked together, lived together for maybe a year, I think. It was a while. And how they worked on his suit and his chair that he can use, and she wasn't familiar with who he was, how he got here. And when
bear in mind, quantum realm is a place with a time or space, so it makes sense, like a guy coming from the future, and that's how they explain Endgame travel logic, which is fair enough. But
and then she touches his mind from the power source, because the chair is hooked up. He uses this chair, not chair's an understatement. It's this tiny little space sphere with a chair in the middle that he can teleport through space and time, and
like a Mobius chair, like the Mobius chair from DC.
And his mind is hooked up to it, so she touches the source and she sees his mind, and she's this friend that she's known, that she survived with, is this horrible, disturbing person, and then And then, as I mentioned, she grabs the power source. He puts on his suit because he got the chair back. He instantly starts like destroying her, but he fails to stop her breaking the power source when he can stop time. It's been shown. It's been shown that he can like stop certain characters from moving somehow. So why couldn't he stop her then? Why couldn't he shoot her with laser in the face? He hasn't been shown to have real like. It's not like he loved her or he like felt really sorry for her. He probably wanted her to live, but it's not like he needed her to live, you know? It's not like he
At
was...
the end of the day,
Yeah.
Kang sees them all as like, oh, these are just one in a infinite number.
Yeah, these are just pawns. These are not... It doesn't matter because
Yeah,
Kang
so-
is forever. Kang is the one constant in time. These guys, they'll appear millions of times in different multiverses, but Kang, there's only one Kang the Conqueror. All the other Kangs, they're not him. He's the real Kang.
But yeah, he's like the one scientist gone rogue.
Yeah.
The one ruler, you know, that's literally it.
And, oh man. And then that leads us on to... Unless you have anything more to say about Act 2.
Act 2 in itself, it's going to be weird to say this, but it was leading up to be the strongest act.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact it started getting goofy. Like that, I feel like a lot of this stuff can be described at the end. So I'll leave my final comments and my overall comments for the movie till then. But I have to say, Act 2, it definitely built from Act 1. Like, Act 1 was just weak. Definitely built from it, but not in the right direction. Nice to say.
Act 3, you know, the big climactic battle where basically Antman needs to work with Kang because Antman needs to sneak in because he has pin particles. He needs to sneak in and needs to shrink the power source, which was enlarged. And, you know, the Cassie's a hostage and the rebels want to attack, and it's this big, huge... See, there's two parts of Act 3. There's the Antman has to steal the power source, which I really liked. And then there's the big battle at the end to stop Kang, which I really disliked. So when Kang has basically enlisted Scott to work for him, that was fine. It makes a lot of sense. You know, he's gonna kill Cassie's gonna torture her. Scott's obviously gonna protect his daughter, so Scott's gonna do it. Scott doesn't really know or can't grasp the strength of Kang or what Kang could do, so he doesn't understand. And when he goes into the sphere and he's losing his mind and he's seeing the other Antman, that was cool. Like, that was really interesting. Him climbing and the other Antman all rallying around the fact that he wants to save his daughter. Like, the one thing constant in all of them. That's great. I love it. And then, like, Hope coming in and helping them. That's neat as well, you know.
Creates one definite. They find solace in each other. You know, they find constant in each other. And their minds are clear. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And then they shrink it. And then they have it, and then that like 15 minutes was great, really good. But then Kang, and then he has this fear, and he says he's gonna give it to Kang, and Janice shows up. She's like, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that." But they're like, they think like, how are they gonna work? And then Kang, he just appears. He literally just appears. He has like this little teleporter. He appears, and they try to fight him, and he literally like swats him away like flies because he's that strong. We were shown how strong he is, and he freezes Janet, which I've said before. If he can freeze her then, why couldn't he freeze her earlier? It's not like they said, oh, his power has grown throughout his time in the quantum realm. It hasn't. He is as strong as he was. He just has followers, and he has more technology. But they never once said that he's gained like some powers. So that just made no sense. But he gets the sphere back, and you're like, oh my god, you know, this is the end. He's gonna escape the quantum realm. And for number one, it takes way too long. He has the power source. He like puts it in. It takes like way too long for it to power up. It made no sense. I don't understand why it took like 20 minutes for it to power up.
Bear in mind, it's futuristic technology, and it takes 20 minutes to power up.
The way they showed us this in his chair. It powered up within seconds. So he put it in. He instantly got the suit. The chair was instantly powered up. All you have to do is just press it down and you can go. And Janet stole it. Fair enough. But this time, like, he builds a city as a suit. So it's pretty big, cool. He's gonna bring his empire with him, which I think was pretty neat. But like, those spheres were circling for so long. Antman literally like went big mode in the quantum realm, which was another thing we'll talk about. And he runs at the sphere. Like, I don't understand how. They never say it. It's not like they're saying, "Oh my god, it's powering up. We got it. We got to go as fast as possible." They never once put that urgency on you. They just say, "Oh, he has it." But like, how is he going to like? They don't start to explain anything. They assume that, oh, there's threat and you have to solve it. But it's not thought out. It's not explained. It's not someone who understands Kang or someone who cares to explain how how he can move. It's just like, oh. It's simple. It's literally like it's like the Suicide Squad blue laser in the sky, Like, oh, run at the blue thing and stop that. Like, this is like 2010 superhero shit now. And the battle is just so man, with the ants coming in at the end.
Well, actually, we also get kind of the introduction and the conclusion to MODOK's character.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, MODOK shows
Almost
up.
forgot about MODOK, huh?
Yeah,
MODOK
the
was
worst
a
side
joke.
character. MODOK shows up, played by Darren, who has Yellow Jacket, and he's
Darren
just a
Cross,
clown.
yeah.
Number one, I don't like MODOK as a character in any form of media. I think MODOK's awful. He should never be in a movie. But they bring him in, and he's just awful. He's just so bad. Like, Jesus Christ.
Honestly, he is the worst character. I think he is the worst MCU character ever.
Also, he
By
never
far, he's just the worst.
he never uses his laser on his forehead. Like, that's his whole shtick. That's MODOK's most powerful point. Why does he not use his laser thing?
No. The thing I have the most problem with is that he got fucking beaten by a girl.
Oh,
The whole joke of the movie is she doesn't even know how to fucking punch.
yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, this MODOK he's a mechanized organism designed only for killing with guns and all this, and he loses to Cassandra Lang, who has no combat experience, barely knows how to shrink, and it's like, what?
She didn't even shrink. For most part, she didn't even fucking shrink.
Yeah,
She didn't even grow or nothing.
Yeah.
She just kind of like parkoured her way around, and MODOK's like, "Oh, I'm done now. You got me now." What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then she just grew big and started swinging around like a rag doll. Literally did a Hulk on Loki on it. You're thinking, that's fair enough for the Hulk. This is fucking Cassie Lang here. Use your laser or something. Just fucking kill her. I don't know. And I know they tried to like do the thing of, oh, he wasn't actually a bad guy.
God,
he wasn't actually just a mechanism designed for killing. He's just a bit of a dick sometimes. But it's fun. I hated that as well. Like, I thought they were doing like a Darth Vader on it, as in like, he's a change for he's literally just a mechanism designed for killing, and then they give him humanity. Fair enough, but he had humanity the whole time. He's just a goofball character. He's so stupid. Definitely just a character brought in for kids, for babies who don't understand, for kids between the ages of fucking 6 and 9 years old who are like, "Wow, he has a laser on his head. They said PP word. He's a bad guy, but look, he gets beaten by the girl." It's so fucking stupid. It just hurts to watch.
Yeah.
I feel like with that, we get to the end in 10-15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
We get to the final battle between Antman and goddamn. I was gonna say the name of the character. I was almost said fucking. From Creed 3, fucking what's his name?
I don't know his name.
Ice-T, Clubber.
He's not going to be Clover.
He's gonna be Clubber's son, or he's definitely gonna be something like that.
He's not going to be Clover Lang's son, no way.
I think he's gonna be Clubber Lang's son. Honestly, I think it's gonna happen.
It's stupid. Why would he be Clover Lang's son? That just ruins the whole point.
Be related, or he'd be like that Clubber Lang character. He's definitely that's it though.
Why?
Why? Because they're just copy and pasting at this stage.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I
they're
heard
doing.
this is a good movie, so like I don't think it's.
Yeah,
good.
well, like people wouldn't think of like a deep cut such as Clubber Lang, or like, oh, this character is exactly like Clubber Lang. Because like, why would they?
I don't.
Here on TalkingTelly, we dive deeper into movies and TV.
I
Don't
don't
look at them at the
think.
base surface value.
I don't think that's Clubber Lang. I can tell you right now.
It's definitely going to be a Clubber Lang style character.
No, it's a
Rough
style
around the
character.
edges.
Yeah, but
Rough
you said
around
he's
the
gonna be his
edges
son.
Yeah, practically his fucking son. Come
No,
on.
he's not going to be Clubber Lang's son.
Anyway, it was the final battle. We're talking about Antman Quantumania. Final battle between Kang the Conqueror, multiversal threat, and Ant-Man. And Ant-Man fucking takes the dub. What the fuck? In a no holds back.
Well, actually, no. Wait, no. What happens was
Fist fight.
what happened.
Where
What happens?
Can't use a stew.
What happens is I know Kang starts dunking on it. Don't forget, Kang hits him with like the 1-2 in the face.
Oh no! Kang is cleaning shop. Fair enough. Kang is cleaning up. I just wanted to point at the fact that Ant-Man did win in the end.
Kang has him dead to rights. Kang definitely put up like Scott put up too much of a fight, but alright, whatever. Kang's still gonna beat him, and then like they're all trying to escape to this portal. So oh no, it's only Scott and Kang. And then Kang is weakened from ants, which ants and he couldn't kill them. But okay, and then he's fighting Scott. And then he has him dead to rights, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you, or this and that." And then Hope Van Dyke comes back to the portal. The portal closes, and she's shooting him with her like little fist lasers. Hope has done nothing to that this movie, by the way, absolutely nothing. Apart from that one scene, she was non-existent. Barely says anything. Barely adds to the movie. She
quite literally did nothing. You are right there. She did nothing all movie. Like, it's not Antman and the Wasp. It's not Antman and the Wasp.
It's really not. It's Antman and Cassandra Lang.
Unless they go off and they call her the Wasp.
She's not the Wasp. She isn't the Wasp. She is not the Wasp. Cassandra Lang is not the Wasp. Cassandra Lang is... What's her name?
Ant Girl. Let's go. A mess.
Okay.
Ant Girl.
Well, okay, just Cassandra Lang, I guess. No one refers to her as Stature. There you go, Stature.
That's such a bad name.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Stature and Sting, right? That was a bad one.
Jesus. Anyway, we continue on.
Yeah,
and I feel like one of the best parts of this movie as well was that final fight scene. Look, don't get me wrong. I thought it was interesting for the most part. I thought it was good to see Kang fucking wipe Ant-Man. You know what's bad to say when you're praying that the bad guy fucking beats the fuck into the main character. Like, what? That shouldn't be the case. We should be like, oh, we want Ant-Man to win. It's a hard fight, but we want Ant-Man to prevail. I was there like, I hope Kang just wipes this fella.
I don't think anyone is like, yeah, I hope Antman wins.
I wanted Kang just to destroy Antman. I just wanted it. Yeah. I was like, come on.
Well,
give
look,
the people what they want.
Hope shoots these little things at him, and his wrist blows up. Oh, it's so bad. But then they're like, okay, Kang's been defeated, but they're trapped in the quantum realm. The only way of escaping was that machine that Janet Van Dyne took the power out of again, because she dunked on the guards, because the guards are completely inept. Okay, we're gonna be fine, because... no, they're not gonna be fine. They're stuck in the quantum realm. It's GG, it's over. But Cassandra Lang somehow creates a portal out of thin air, and they just walk back. What? How? She could never do that. She sent a message to the quantum realm. She never said she could go to the quantum realm. She got sucked into the quantum realm by Kang, because Kang, they never explained it. Kang said he dragged them out. Never explained it. So, how on earth did this happen? How did Cassandra Lang know? How did she create a portal? Is her sending the signal creating a portal? That makes no sense.
That's not how it works. That's literally not how it works. And they didn't gain any quantum versal travel mechanism. They didn't get the chair. They didn't get nothing like that. They have no means to fucking send this message or do anything like that. But yet they still do it. I don't understand.
It disappears. It's so out of nowhere.
I just didn't like. Oh, thinking about it now, I'm there like. It's so stupid. The movie, folks, it's just all logic is gone. If you watch this movie and you have 3 brain cells rubbing together, firing off every now and again, you might actually enjoy this movie. But for anybody with an IQ above 7, you're gonna sit there watching this movie like, what the fuck? Half the shit doesn't even make sense. The whole "let's go home" and then the portal suddenly opens up. That was so fucking cringe. I was just like, we don't have the time, nor the money, nor the actual effort to give an explainer for this.
Yeah.
That's literally what I felt like. Even if they met up with like the resistance fighters and they were like, we know of some way to get you
Yeah, it's
home.
like, alright, whatever.
Yeah, and they like you get like a time skip or something like that, and then you suddenly see them like popping out through like, I don't know, some random fucking bullshit means. Then you'd be like, oh, fair enough. Or if Cassie Lang and the man was there working on a means for them to get home, and then they open up a portal, fair enough. Don't literally give them 30 seconds and it's like, home time, baby. What?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was waiting for a big reveal. I was waiting for a they never left the quantum realm. I was waiting for a this is all just like Kang's fantasy. Almost like a fucking dream, like a fever dream he's giving them just to make it seem like they won. And maybe they did that in the post-credit scene. Maybe they did something like that. But it just seems so fucking odd how they'd cut the "let's go home" and then it's like the happy Antman walking scene again. Like, I overall, folks, I have a lot of comments I need to make about this movie in general, about how it changed this movie, about how to make it better. But it must also be said that there's not a lot saving this movie either. For all the stuff we could come up with, they didn't do it.
No.
In the end, they didn't.
Yeah. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's sad to say. It's sad to say. You leave an MCU movie, the starting of Phase 5, the starting of the Kang dynasty, and you're left disappointed. People have been talking about being disappointed by this movie, and I didn't want to believe it. A lot of people were not really excited for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and that was probably one of the best MCU movies they've released.
Yep.
So, going into this movie, I was like, I'm not going to listen to what people are saying. I'm just going to go in with my own interpretation and leave, hopefully, feeling happy with how they finished off the Ant-Man character, or if they're going to open up to more movies. And yet, I left the movie thinking, I hope they never make another Ant-Man movie again.
Yeah.
That's sad to say, but it's true. MCU fatigue, folks, it's definitely kicked in. It's definitely kicked in, and it's in full effect right now.
But not only is it fatigue, it's just bad. We were both fatigued before Antman, before Black Panther 2. We were both tired. But it was still a good movie, do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's still a good movie. It's still a rewatchable movie. Still an enjoyable movie. But this movie is just cemented MCU's fatigue for me. It's just cemented it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have much hope going into Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I will admit. And the fatigue was real at that stage. I didn't want to admit it, but it was real.
It was.
But this movie, all the hope Black Panther: Wakanda Forever set back up in my heart. Ant-Man just crushed it. And it wasn't even like it was a bad movie. It just could have been so much better.
It was just... It's not like it was an average MCU movie. It was a bad MCU movie. It was one thing if it's average, okay, yeah, whatever. Well. It's just awful, though. I don't get how it can be so bad. I can understand if it's like Eternals. Eternals was a good movie, but wasn't a great movie. It was just a decent, good movie. You know, a normal origin story, some interesting characters, some less interesting characters. How can you do such? How can you balls up Ant-Man? Like, oh no. It's just.
It shouldn't be possible to balls up Ant-Man.
Wait. Especially with. What's his name? With Kang there, like with all the stuff that Loki did with his performance, how?
I think with that we get into the overall comments on what would change in this movie, and I feel like number one, what they need to change in this movie is their entire outlook on it itself. From the very start, I feel like this movie just had no direction.
No.
I feel like this movie suffered from a lack of direction. Of course, we all knew they were going to go into the quantum realm. We all knew Kang was going to be a big bad. We all knew this was going to happen, and they're going to have to leave the quantum realm eventually, like a big family adventure, you know. But this movie, its lack of direction and its lack of purpose is its biggest downfall.
Yeah.
Nobody died in this movie. Nobody suffered any real
Apart from
consequences.
MODOK.
Yeah, apart from fucking MODOK. MODOK wasn't even a big character though. Like the lack of direction for his character, the lack of direction for the Ant-Man character. Did he learn anything? No. That's literally what the end of the movie was about. It was like, I should probably tell people about the big multiversal threat which I met in the quantum realm, but I won't. You know, I'll just go have dinner with my family. He literally learned nothing. The characters haven't learned the thing. They still go back and they're still traversing through the quantum realm. Like, so what have they learned? They learned how to be a better family? That's it. They're, like, so stupid. And then the lack of direction for the Kang character as well. He's going to be the big multiversal threat. Bear in mind, this is the MCU we're talking about. They took 15 films to set up the Thanos character. And you're telling me 15 movies plus whatever extra, I think it was an extra 5-6 movies until we started getting to Infinity War and Endgame. And you're telling me they set up and almost conclude the Kang character in one fucking movie and one TV show.
No, I don't think this is the end of Kang, by the way.
No, this is not the end of Kang. But they could have almost packed him up and sent him off in one fucking movie.
The way they set up it is as if it's over.
Yeah, they set it up as if he's literally just a one-time bad guy, a Darren Cross. What the fuck? This guy is not the main villain for the future phases of this MCU. I refuse to believe it. Unless he's like a fake fucking Kang. Unless they do a goddamn Mandarin on it again, whatever the name of the fucking villain organization was with the fake bad guy in Iron Man. Was that the Mandarin, was it?
Yeah, the Mandarin. The Mandarin.
Unless they're doing another the Mandarin on it, in case we already forgot about him, and it's just a fake Kang. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This guy literally took over time itself almost in the Loki series. That was like what the ending explained, you know? He's in control of the time fucking bureau. And yet he's getting dunked on in the quantum realm.
Yeah,
what? No sense. By fucking Antman. By Antman. And they gave us no explainer, no nothing. So it's just a lack of purpose altogether. That's the first thing I'd change. I'd give this movie a direction. I'd definitely say, okay, this movie is going to focus on how we introduce Kang into the MCU, how he's going to be a big bad, and how Ant-Man is going to deal with him. Bear in mind, not stop him, just deal with him, and how he's going to escape the quantum realm. Fair enough. Second thing I'd bring into this movie is actual fucking character development. Like I said, Ant-Man learns nothing. Hope Van Dyne.
They learned to stand up for the little guy or some bullshit.
They hit us with some Disney trope.
They actually go full Disney.
Stand up for the little guy, because you don't know how big he's gonna be when he gets on. Like, what?
Jesus.
Oh, make sure you stand up for... Literally, make sure you stand up for minorities. Like, what the fuck? What? Fair enough. Look, you bring in... Look, it's Disney. They're gonna bring in these kind of tropes. They will. They always will. But they never actually showed Kang as this big fucking bad guy.
No, because
they never actually showed like a Kang genocide. Why did they hate Kang?
This is the same problem with 12-4. You can't just throw some villain in and say he's the worst, he's unstoppable. How are they ever going to stop him and then stop him in one movie? Especially if you present him so awfully. Same with God Butcher. Yeah, God Butcher, but also he's such a little bitch and gets clowned on. Like, this is the same problem. We've been showing Kang is such a beast. How does he barely manage to keep a hold of the family and then gets dunked on? It makes no sense. I don't understand why.
Quite literally, he gets walked. He gets walked in this movie. Yeah. Like MODOK, he just gets fucking walked. You can't get walked by fucking Ant-Man. I don't care how cool the Ant-Man character is. I don't care how much cool. Fucking audience, like, award ratings he gets. I don't care how much fucking Disney stans love him. You cannot let Ant-Man walk your multiversal threat. You can't. You can't.
No.
Like, Ant-Man wouldn't walk Thanos. Ant-Man wouldn't fucking walk goddamn Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
Ant-Man wouldn't fucking walk half the MCU villains which they've introduced. He wouldn't even fucking walk the Vulture.
Yeah,
Spider-Man Homecoming.
He would walk the Vulture. It's Ant-Man, bro. He can squish him with his hand. You think it's Ant-Man.
Ant-Man would not walk the fucking Vulture.
The Vulture has nothing.
Ant-Man would not walk
the Vulture is a pathetic villain.
I swear, bro. Ant-Man would not walk the Vulture. He couldn't.
The Vulture has a metal suit. Ant-Man can literally shrink, go into a suit, and expand and instantly kill him.
How? So Vulture's flying above him. What the fuck is Ant-Man gonna do?
He's gonna grow and just grab him. He's literally just gonna bro. He did the same. Bro, if he
the Vulture just flies away. Like
wait, what happened to Iron Man in Civil War? Who stopped Iron Man in Civil War? It was Ant-Man. Ant-Man got into his suit and just rinsed him.
They also had Spider-Man trip Ant-Man up in a Star Wars reference.
Yeah. Could Vulture do that? Could Vulture do that? Could Vulture do that? No, he couldn't.
He could literally just fly around them with a bit of wire.
The wire wouldn't work. The spider web is special. I think you're overestimating the fucking Vulture. Probably Spider-Man's the weakest villain. I never liked the Vulture. Ever. Spider-Man, the Vulture is the weakest villain. Name someone that won the Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery that would struggle against the Vulture. Electro. Scorpion would not. Scorpion and Vulture are equal in power. They're both so shit. Like if Scorpion has some poison.
Rhino would fucking suffer. Right, like Vulture could literally just throw shit at Rhino. What the fuck is he gonna do?
What's Vulture gonna throw? He's a weak. What can he lift? What is he gonna throw? Bottles? Like, he's just a skinny man.
Vulture literally has fucking alien tech. He has alien tech in Homecoming. You forget that as well. He has alien tech which is able to destroy buildings. Which is able to level fucking neighborhoods. That's why Spider-Man was saying, we need to get someone on this. Iron Man, come on. This guy can literally take out neighborhoods if he wanted to with this tech.
But he wouldn't use his
gun.
You're telling
me he couldn't take...
But he wouldn't use his gun. He didn't like using his gun. He didn't use his gun.
You're telling me if it came to crunch time, if it came to, I gotta kill this guy, you're telling me he wouldn't be able to fucking murk Ant-Man? That's stupid.
Of course you would. You're telling me...
Pop him in the fucking head.
How can he pop Ant-Man when Ant-Man just shrinks into a literal molecule?
And how the fuck is Ant-Man gonna get up to the Vulture when he's flying in the sky?
Well, then, they're at a stalemate. Neither wins then.
Yeah, so there you go. Vulture doesn't fucking lose now, does he?
He doesn't also clown an Ant-Man, does he?
Yeah, but Ant-Man, he's getting big now. Bang, he's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
You got the ability, you have a gun which is able to take out neighborhoods. You're telling me you can't shoot Ant-Man on the fucking head when he's big? Is that what you're
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Bro.
If he could stomp on Thanos, and then like, come on.
Who could stomp on Thanos? Who? Ant-Man? Ant-Man's not stomping on fucking no one. That's literally the whole point. That's the whole point of the movie. Ant-Man stomps on no one. He didn't even fucking stomp on Kang.
Bro.
Kang with no powers. Kang is too OP.
You watched The Boys. You saw what Ant-Man can do.
Yeah, but he's not climbing up any urethras now, is he?
Well, he can. You said when push comes to shove.
Yeah, unless Ant-Man's able to jump over fucking skyscrapers.
Look, we're going on a 10-minute rant on Ant-Man versus the fucking Vulture. We need to stop.
No, we are.
We actually just got on a Antman versus the Vulture. Who's gonna do it?
And we decided that it's a stalemate, which is still pretty fucking bad, considering you said he's the weakest fucking villain. Come on.
There are odds perfectly against each other. One guy who can fly, and the other guy who has no way of reaching anyone.
Yeah, pretty much. They are perfectly opposing sides.
Alright. Final closing thoughts.
I was saying, No, we hit the character development. Number 3, I'd say that the cuts in this movie are so fucking weird as well.
There's no
Like,
jarring because they're talking and then we go back to these guys. We go back to these guys. It's so awful.
I feel like if they just, even if they just kept the family together, I can understand the family splitting up and they have 2 different opposing stories. But like, even if they had like some, I don't trust you, fucking ma, I don't trust what you're saying right now. I forget her name, fucking whatever it is, Janet. I don't trust you, Janet. You haven't told us anything about this. And she's like, no, you can't go to this guy. Trust me, you can't go with Kang. Even if Scott was like, I'm going with this guy. If Scott had met Kang first, and then Kang pretended to be a good guy, I was like, oh, you know, I'm the ruler, but you know, I don't want to be the ruler. I was just elected, this, that, and the other. You know, I'm actually trapped down here myself. I'm trying to get out. And Scott decided to help him. That'd be a lot better story. Like, Scott went off by himself, and then the whole promise thing would make sense. The whole final scene when Antman goes Hulk mode and is like, we had a deal, we had a promise. He goes full vengeance. That scene would completely make sense then. If he was actually fucking betrayed. He wasn't betrayed.
No.
Kang literally said, do this or I'm gonna kill your daughter. And it's like, okay. Why would you believe him?
We had a deal.
Why would you believe him? Why would you believe this guy? You know this guy 2 minutes and he fucking threatened to kill you and your daughter. And you believe his words now?
He's just the little guy. Of course he's gonna believe him.
It just doesn't make sense though. It doesn't make sense. Why would you believe anything this guy is saying? And yeah, it's like, you betrayed me, Kang. I'll never forgive you for this one. Like, Kang's gonna give a fuck. Like, Kang is literally gonna give a monkeys about Ant-Man. Like, or his daughter. That's why I don't care. Made it like it's a big deal that fucking Scott Lang was betrayed. Fuck cares about Scott Lang? Realistically. Fuck does Kang care? Like, and I don't know why Kang was freaking out as well. Somebody stop this guy. Why doesn't he go out and stop him? He's got the power suit on. He could just murk the fella.
Yeah.
Could literally just shoot a laser, goes straight through Ant-Man's head. Big enough target, like.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, the movie is just unexplained. Everything's unexplained, and that's why it's crap. I don't know, man.
I feel like with that, we give our final ratings, we give our final scores.
Alright.
What are you giving this out of 10?
5 out of 10.
I give it a 4 out of 10. I think a 4 out of 10 is being nice, to be honest. This movie, I don't even think it deserves a perfect 5 out of 10. I don't think it deserves a mid.
Worst. Let me look at the worst Marvel movies. We'll finish off with this. Worst Marvel movies. So I haven't seen Black Widow, so bear with me. But okay.
Black Widow was pretty bad, to be fair.
Oh, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, Antman is the second worst. Actually, no, it's worst. It's tied worst.
Good.
Alright, so it's worse than all the 12 movies. Wait, is it worse than? No, it's better than Love. It's better than Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder is an abomination.
Oh yeah, no, it's better than Love and Thunder. I'll give it that.
It is, but it's worse than Dark World. It's worse than One.
Yeah, 100.
It's worse.
No, I'm telling you, it's the third worst MCU movie. It's the third worst. Worst by far. Thor: Love and Thunder.
It's awful. It's
That's
such a
worst.
bad movie.
Number 2, Black Widow. Number 3, Ant-Man. I hate to say it.
Ant-Man's
Like
actually.
I said at the start.
It's painful that the last movie, second last movie of Phase 4, and the first movie of Phase 5 are the worst movies.
It really spells out Marvel fatigue, folks.
But it's not. Marvel fatigue is when the audience is bored. But this is different.
No,
honestly,
I feel like the studio is bored. Louis Despacito is fucking tired, man. He's tired.
Well, like, I think we're all tired of it, but we can still make good content. This is awful. Like, there's one thing of being tired, but it's still decent. Yeah, I'll begrudgingly go see it. This is just shit. Yeah,
I feel like we need to have a Marvel fatigue pod in the near future.
I think we
definitely before Guardians 3 comes out.
I think Guardians 3 is the Marvel fatigue pod.
Yeah, but it's not out until like June, July.
Phase 5. I need to see when Secret Invasion comes out, because I want to talk about Secret Invasion after MCU Fatigue. Secret Invasion should come out. No, by the way, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 should come out really soon. Oh shit, May, never mind. May.
May. That's 2 months away. Oh god, folks, I'm actually starting to dread watching Marvel movies now. I never thought I'd say that. Starting to dread it.
Yeah, Guardians 3. Then it's like the Marvels and bullshit. When is Secret Invasion coming out? When is this coming out? When? Early 2023. Well, bro, it's March. This is it's done. April's not really early anymore.
To be fair, it's not. We're literally halfway through March.
There's a website called goss.ie.
Goss.
Look, I think after Secret Invasion, which is what, the first? Would that be the first Marvel show of the year?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I think after that, the first Marvel movie and the first Marvel show, Phase 5, I think then we can talk about Phase Fatigue.
Marvel Fatigue. Yeah, fair enough. And I feel like with that, folks, I'd like to thank you once again for listening in. If you got this far, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us your favourite or worst part of Antman Quantumania. Or just give your scores. Give us a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10 if you really enjoyed the movie. Let us know how you are feeling about this too, because any involvement, any interaction, anything you want us to talk about, be more than appreciated. And I feel like with that, thank yous again. 3.2k on the Avatar vid. Love and life. Let's hope this video does the same.
God. See everyone.
I think that's it.